Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna go over a beginner guide. I'm gonna do my best to cover every topic, but this is beta 2 stuff, so it is subject to change. So at the end of the video, if I did miss something, you have some questions or you're still confused, either drop a comment below the video or come ask me live at twitch.tv/JKZN. Now, let's begin with the topics. There's multiple topics to talk about, and we'll start with the elephant in the room, the building. Now, the building is given to you just by finishing the prologue and coming all the way here to the first zone, which is the hub, it's called. And you can see all of the zones by clicking region overview. The hub is going to be your first zone, then the valet pass is going to be your second zone, and they're going to give you your first secondary encampment, which still works as a base, and you can plant stuff there. They're going to share the same storage. You can put buildings there as well as the hub, and then you're going to progress with the different zones. Quarry is going to be another zone, but it doesn't give you another camp. Originium Science Park is going to give you a second outpost, which is this one, the infrastation. The next one is going to be on Origin Lord Spring, the second zone, and then on the Power Plateau you're gonna get your last PAC camp PAC camp for the Valley 4. Now, when you go back to the hub, you go here. This is your core AIC area. This is your main base, and this is where you're going to build stuff. You go to here, you teleport, whatever you want to do, and this is your main tower. And from here, you're going to have your zone, which is going to be shorter than this, and you can talk to the bird guy to exchange Stockbills, Valley Stockbills, which is this one, to increase the area in expansion to level 3, which is this big. Otherwise, it's going to be like a third of this. And then it's going to be the depot bus that you can unlock with still the same amount of stock bills. It's going to be more and more. It's going to be like 6,000, like then 20k, then 100k. Well, not this much, but it's going to be like an increasing amount. And it gives you this line over here of this like tube. This tube is basically acting as your storage, and you can use the unloader in certain machines to bring the materials out into whatever facility you're using. Now, it is important to notice that if you don't know how something is made, you can either go to the tutorial and do the simulation for it. As you can see, there is almost every facility explained in the tutorial here, or just use it yourself after you unlock it from the basic AC plan. This will be looking white, and you can use a research cost node thing to unlock the possibility to craft it. And each one of these are pretty good later on. You don't need all of them, but unlocking most of them will unlock maybe the next version, which might be better than the previous one, maybe more useful. So for example, you need to unlock planting to unlock grinding, and maybe you need grinding for something that is not related to planting. But so you still want to unlock everything anyway. Where do you unlock them? By going on a place that looks like this. It's just a protocol data logger. It looks like an inflatable wavy man. You go there, you click it. You don't have to do anything. Just click, and it's going to give you the node. And then you can use to unlock whatever you want. It's just one node that is the work for any node. So pick your strategy, wherever you want to go. Do you want to double down on the bed bridging? Maybe you don't want. Maybe the belt splitting, maybe you don't need that yet. So maybe put this on pause and maybe go do the drill instead, because mining 2 and 3 unlocks more mining potentials, mining drills that are better than before, and you can now mine new minerals such as ferrumore, which is very important. So this is where you unlock all the different buildings, and then if you still don't know how to make them, you can just press facility list, and this is going to be your facility. Click the item, and then it's going to tell you insufficient quality, construct now. Yes, you click it, and it's going to tell you what you need. Now, how to use these, obviously you gotta refer to the tutorial, and I'm gonna probably have a tutorial on the channel as well on the most difficulty or most confusing buildings, but usually just the tutorial is gonna give you the gist of it. Or you can also go and to the EFDB over here by pressing ESC and going to that, and then clicking the item file and going to the AIC products. Most of the time, it's going to have every item you will ever need, most of them. And you basically click on the item, you go like, how do I make it? And this is going to tell you where it comes from. So source is going to be the origin ore. Through the refining unit is going to make in 2 seconds 1 Origo crust. And then that is going to output the Origo crust. You use the belt to put it in the AAC, and that's it. And then now you have the material looping back into your storage from the from this interaction. You can also, it also shows you all of the applicable formulas to make different materials and different type of structure by using the Origo crust. As you can see, it's very popular. Or you can also use the view chain and check what to do, and then switch to whatever you want to make, and it's going to tell you how to do it. So this is basically the generalized version of building. With time, you will be using buildings on all of your outposts as well as your main core, and these outposts will also generate stock bills. And to get the stock bills, you need to produce a material to then trade with them at a rate and give yourself some outpost currency and at the same time outpost prosperity, which then will make the camp level up and add more materials that yield more stocks when traded. So this is like a constant growth. You go from like silly materials, like a low level, low rarity materials that you can trade. It's going to take a little bit longer because they don't have that much value. And then once you level up, you get access to the best ones or to the bigger ones more and more and more. At a level 3, you can see that you start unlocking the big ones, Bug Capsule, HC Valley Butter, the purple quality, which usually is like yields more. As you can see, 70 from 27. So you start getting more and more and more, and your production and your stock bill production skyrockets. Now, this is like the camping, nothing much to do here besides doing the quest related to the camps and putting a character here on each camp that might have different passive that can help you get more XP or more credits, and you put them there and you do your trades like every day to get more of the stock bills and at the same time the outpost prosperity. So you want to level them up as soon as possible. They can also expand in size, so it's really important to keep an eye on because it's really good amount of stock bills and you have more space to do your base, right? And to put your facility on. So moving on to the open world now. The building is done. Obviously, this is not a building guide. It's going to be a building guide on its own. This was like a brief explanation. The building guide is going to be on its own video, like in more depth. Right, so the open world. The open world is very important to understand how the open world is. The open world is not your normal Genshin or WoWa exploration when you're going around, you climb everything, you jump, you fly, you discover everything in a split second, and you're done and you move on with your life. No, this is basically a big, gigantic map with basically every nook and cranny is a puzzle level. To reach almost any zone, you need to figure out a way to do it. You're gonna see a cliff, like you can't just climb the cliff. You need to find a way to unlock the cliff, or like to find like a workaround, a walk around, find like a special place where you can like, you know, if you find maybe something to break with a bomb, you throw the bomb, you go in, and now you finally have access to this extra zone that gives you materials. So the open world is really fun to interact with because it's not just a one-dimensional, go here, kill the enemies, and now you have access to it. It is actually most of the time a little puzzle for you to adventure in and try to find a way in somehow. Like, okay, how do I go back to this guy? Oh, I can jump here. And now I'm in, you know? It's very important to mention this because a lot of people are going to be like, wait, I can't climb? No, it's made on purpose. So the world, at least in my opinion, is very fun to interact with and to solve, quote unquote. But when you press M and you see the map, you're going to be maybe overwhelmed, right? Now, every icon is not that big of a deal. Usually, the icon that you want to see are usually the mineral beds. Let me clear all. The mineral beds, the rares, the recycling, the rare minerals, and maybe obviously the stock redistribution, the depot node, and everything else is like something that you might want to see or not, but this is like the best. Let's start with these icons. This is where you click to check where the mineral beds are. You will see like a crystal formation icon. You click on it, it's going to tell you how many there are. If they're high purity or not, it means that like they yield more. And if there is a rig there or not. Rig powered means that there is a drill on top of it. I am currently harvesting it. So if it doesn't say that, you can actually go and put your drills there and get more income. You always want to do that. There's no downside. You actually incentivize to do that as soon as possible. So you hit all of the nodes that you have access to and put a drill on it, right? After that, you will see some weird materials such as this, the rare ore, and the rare growth. Now these grow over time but cannot be harvested automatically. So what you can do is go there the first time, get the materials, and then put a zipline network for you to quickly go from your base just by a click, automatically sending you in a little bit, kind of like a minute or something, or 30 seconds, sending you to the nearby rare growth, which you might want to go harvest because it's been enough time and now there's new materials. So you want to occasionally come back, maybe once a day, once a day or once every 2 days if you don't need that many. You're not in an emergency, you can wait a little bit. Once every 2 days is guaranteed for them to be full, or you can go once every like 13 hours ish and you will find a bunch grew back at that point, right? And so hit all of the nodes that you might need to character growth, weapon growth. These usually tell you what to do. These, for example, are for to tune, which means to level, to ascend and unlock the next 10 levels on the weapon for level 20 for the weapons, while this one is going to be a material for level 20 operators, which are the characters. So these icons are the most important for the gathering part. Obviously, these yellow things are teleportation points, and these are set in stone. The moment you click on them the first time and you unlock them, otherwise they are gray. The moment you unlock them, you can teleport at any point for free, so don't worry about it. There's going to be like a checkpoint for you to go there and go from there. Now, another important icon to mention is the recycling station. This will give you refreshing materials of the aerospace type, aerospace material 1, and by unlocking more level and increasing the level and upgrading it, it's going to give you level 2 material. What is this for? This is for upgrading your Dijang, which you will eventually, by doing the story, unlock, which is the main spaceship. Inside the main spaceship, you have a bunch of facilities that you want to level up to harness the power more, right? So in that case, you want to go to the bridge and unlock higher level of the Dijang. For example, I am only level 3. I didn't level on purpose so that you can see like what you need for the level up. Now, you usually need these materials, the aerospace material, and you need a lot of them. So, as you can see on the map, there is multiple recycling stations that you can go click, unlock, and then occasionally check back, and as soon as possible level them up so they can yield the most amount of drop rewards. And I think it's more than just once a day. But you can also do it just once a day, do like run around, check all of the recycling stations, and then go from there and get the materials once a day, right? You don't have to try hard so much. Another very important node that I'm going to mention is going to be the stock redistribution terminal. The moment this is available, and it should be available the moment you unlock the worker dorms from the main story, so just progress the main story, and it's going to unlock it. You go there, let's teleport. You unlock it, and this is like a very important side activity that can help you get as many stock bills as possible, which again is a very, very much needed currency, like those stocks, to unlock and increase the size of your outpost and your building size, so you can build more and be more efficient. Now, the lucky carrot is the guy, and you can obviously upgrade up to level 4 on Valley 4, and for now in the beta up to level 2 on the Wuling version of this, which is the same guy, but it's just in Wuling, it's another region. Each region has their own stocks, so you don't have to worry about it colliding with each other. And when you click this, you're going to have the staple goods that you can buy with the Valley stock bills, or you have the elastic goods. The elastic goods are materials that you can buy every day, or a set amount of refreshing per day. As you can see here, every 21 hours you you will get 110, and I have 220 right now, so you can buy a full stock. Obviously, you don't have to full stock if you don't have enough, but you eventually will have enough. What you can do is technically a very simple buy low, sell high concept, which is you buy the materials that has the biggest discount, let's say, which is this in this case. And before you buy, check your friend's price. If there is a friend that has a crazy local price, you can buy your item here, purchase, then teleport to your friend's ship, whoever has the highest amount. In this case, they're similar, so let's go to Athena. You go to their ship, you go to their deposit zone, and with your very cheap material that you bought on your planet, on your local, you go here and you go exchange for their local price. For them, they have no difference. They don't gain anything from this. It's just for you to gain. So they can gain from me and I can gain from them. There's no change in my stock bills. My stock bills don't get scammed or anything. It's just everything to gain. It's just a system to visit your friends, basically. And as you can see, there is a 200% price increase. We do this and we went from spending 238 was like 1,000 stocks into getting 1.3 millions. So this is very important to do every day as soon as possible, even in your little scale when you are like starting the game. It's important to do because it's going to be a very steady income of stock bills. And with that, as I told you before, you will be able to do everything. Now, let's go back to Valley 4 and let's talk about the characters. Now, the characters obviously is going to be the majority of the importance for the game of most people, because you're gonna want to play the game with the characters, you're gonna have some characters in mind. So let's explain briefly how the characters work. Obviously it's gonna be, they're gonna have their own guide on the channel, so subscribe if you want to see more of that. And basically every character, and this is why also the game is really fun in my opinion, every character has their different stats. They have strength, agility, intellect, and will, on top of having like their own passives that you will eventually unlock, and they have four abilities. Not all of them are active. Some of them are combos, which is the third one usually on this line. It's a combo skill. It's a combo skill, and it says here, and it will only trigger on certain conditions. So the fun of the game will be to make a combo of characters that have their combo work together and synergize well together as a group, so that you're going to fight, do your skills, do your ultimate, but also combo each other. And this usually ends up being the most efficient or the most powerful way to approach the enemies. So I highly recommend you actually pay attention to this and try to make a team that works well together rather than being strong alone, because the other characters are going to be very powerful if comboed together. Your first skill is going to be your basic attack, and it's going to be like normal stuff. Obviously when you do the final strike on everybody, it's going to do some stagger. And then you have your normal skill, your main skill, which does something and applies something. It depends on the characters. In this case, it's going to be a cryo infliction. Then you have the combo, which does something else, and then you have the ultimate. Now, this is the same for every character, but when you are in combat outside in game, you can, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen, you will be also, let me change my camera a little bit. There you go. You will also see your character at the bottom here, and they tell you their level and their HP, and they have an item with them with 3 uses. As you can see, 3 green dots, 3 uses, which is 3 uses of the current item that they have. In this case, it's a health potion. It's a medium health potion. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 with 1, 2, 3, and 4 again on top of it. What does that mean? 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the bottom is basically your skill, and then 2, 3, and 4 is a command for your character, for your other teammates. You tell them to do their skill. So it's just basically a command, like, oh, Snowshine, do the shielding now, you know. And then you go like, okay, Fluorite, throw the bomb, boom, you know. And it's basically you tell them what to do during combat while playing your character. Now, when they have the ultimate up, by doing this and by doing combos and killing monsters and doing damage and comboing together and doing their skills, they're going to charge the icon at the top. Once the icon at the top is there, you hold the corresponding number, you hold instead of pressing it, and goes from ordering them to do the skill to ordering them to do the ultimate. So if I want her to do the normal skill, I will press 4. That's the normal skill. But if I hold it, I will do their ultimate. This works for every character, including you. So if you want to do your skill, you want to do this. If you press once, and now you have the skill. This is not going to work because I need an enemy to finish my strike to use the skill enchantment. But if I have enough, I will then hold 1 to... I can't right now because it's not filled. I will hold 1 to do my ultimate. So that is the basics of gameplay. Now, why is important to combo? Because they combo with arts, which are different arts inflictions, different elements, different interaction, and different combos between the same element as well. Like, for example, if you go to Endmin, it's going to talk about stuff like physical status, vulnerable, but at the same time, vulnerable can also be lifted or knocked down, or crushed, or breached, you know? And so it's very important to understand what these do and how these combo together if you want to make a solid team. And you need to understand, obviously it's going to have its own guide on its own. So for now, let's continue and talk about the yellow stat on your characters. That is your main stat, the stat that you basically have the scale the most on. So all of your items and all of your gear, when you're going and you get your gear eventually by making it in the factory, you are going to pay attention to what is the gear giving you. So you really want to have your main stat to be there, because then you're going to do more damage, and then obviously pay attention eventually. You don't have it immediately, but when you do actually have the set effects, pay attention to what set effects you're getting and if you can actually use it. Sometimes you're going to get a fire set. You don't want to use the fire set on the ice character, do you? So very simple approach. They also come with a specific bonus. In this case, this is a wrong bonus because it's physical damage bonus and she's not physical. So I only made this to give her the main stat strength. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used this because there was it gave me the wrong third option here. Now, something that you can do is by going to the base and going to gear assembly, which is L. This is the way you make your gear, and you use obviously the stock bills of the region of the rarity, and then you use this material which you also farm. You make it. You can farm it, but you basically you have to craft it yourself. Once you have enough, you can just pick up the item and just make a copy of. Okay, boom. Now, something that you will unlock in Wooling, at least in Beta 2, eventually, it's a separate quest, so be sure to do it, don't forget about it. It's Artificing. Now, Artificing is basically a system where that gives you 9 upgrades per item, and you can basically try and increase the main or whatever stats you want on your gear by using the same copy of the item. So you need to use a Artificing item or copy. So for example, the Tide Surge Gauntlet, we can go to L and go and buy and make a copy of them. I can make as many as I want, so it doesn't matter. And then you go to Strength, you click this, you click the item, and now you need this, the Wooling Artificial Catalyst. If you have enough stocks, again, the stocks are very important, you go here, you buy the item, and then you use it. You can have X amount of items per week, so pay attention, don't get scammed too much. And let's try to upgrade it. It says standard, it could fail, it failed, and if it fails, it gives you a bunch of stocks back, but you lose the items, so it's still like a negative, and you lose the copy of the gear piece. So this is Artificing. Maybe it will be expanded in the release. I don't know. That is the Artificing. Now for the character, we have obviously the character, the ability matrix, which is your passives, and at the same time you're gonna be able to increase the power of your skills. And when you are at the max of the max power here, you can mastery by using these very rare materials. If you played Gacha before, the Mark of Perseverance is basically the equivalent of a crown in other games, or like that special material that you can occasionally get from events or from the battle pass or from buying it from the shop. and you use it to master the skill beyond the max and like crown the skill now as the maximum potential, and that GG, you don't have to do anything else, right? So keep that in mind. When you go back, obviously these nodes will eventually unlock. You go from down here and you want to unlock this first, these nodes first, which will unlock the next tier of whatever you're trying to get, right? So in this case, this will unlock after, but for now, you can't unlock it yet. You need a higher trust, and for this one, you need some materials that come from endgame. Now, this is every character is gonna have this. Obviously, you can level it up and level the characters up. Their levels, and then level them up by tuning them. Now, in the weapon system, it's basically very similar to the gear, but each weapon comes in with certain stats. Obviously, pay attention to what they give you. This is our signature weapon, so obviously it's going to give me useful stuff for me. But you can also have an essence implanted into it that gives you more ticks of the stats that you need. In this case, I have a pure essence that gives me 2 strength boost. In this case, if I have more strength boost, I can get more base strength. So if you happen to get a essence by farming into the for stamina, so it's free basically, just a matter of time. You can farm on certain bosses that drop it and farm these, and if you manage to get, for example, a essence that gives you a strength, and then it gives you cryo damage boost, and then it gives you detonate, that would be the best in slot, because you can now max all 3 of them with just 1 item. So it is important to pay attention to these eventually. You don't need to immediately, but eventually you're gonna have to pay attention to them. This is the item that you carry for your healing, automatic healing. You don't have to do it yourself, it's automatically. This is a mid version. You can get a better ones, but for now I'm just using a mid one because I was farming them, and that's what I'm using. So yeah, that's basically pretty much it about the characters. The gear and artificing, we did it. Now let's go talk briefly about the gacha. The gacha is a little bit meh. Basically is a 80 PT plus 80 PT plus a 120 PT for guaranteed. If you fail at any point until you reach the guaranteed, you can still keep failing, and the guaranteed doesn't carry over to the next banner. It is what it is. This is how it is at the moment. Maybe they'll fix it, maybe they won't, nobody knows. It's a 0.8%, and you can fail to literally everybody in the standard banner. You also have 8% to get a 5-star, and basically it's guaranteed to get a 4-star. There is no weapons, you only get characters from pulling. If you fail, there is no guaranteed, so you have to have enough to guarantee the character before the banner ends. Otherwise, you lose the guaranteed. So it's important to remember that. So that's basically pretty much it. For the weapon, once you are pulling, and you're getting the pull here, you get a currency as well. When you get the characters, when you get the, I think we can see it over here. When you get an operator, it's gonna give you, that it's a 5-star, it gives you 200 arsenal tickets. When you get a 4-star, it gets 20 arsenal tickets. When you get a 6-star, it gives you 2000. Now, when you go to the arsenal change, you have permanent banners or reoccurring weapons cycling, and you have like the main banner, the main standard banner with standard weapons, or you have specific weapons, which what I did. Because I had the last right, so I specified on this, specialized on this one. Every 10 pull is 1980, which is a little bit a lot, just it's a little bit, but it is guaranteed at 90 pulls. If you do 90 pulls, it's guaranteed. And besides that, you can get a 6-star weapon very easily compared to like other games, but there is only a 25% chance to get the ones that you want, and a 75% chance to fail to something else, which is also a 6-star. So it is a little bit weird, but the percentage is really high. It's 4%, and you will eventually guarantee it at 90 pulls. So you might just get a multiple, or just never get it until 90. It's a little bit very up in the air, but it's a 4%, but you only have a 25% chance. So I guess it balances out, I guess. I don't know, probably not. But yes, so that's how it works. You also get weapons all the time. There's nothing else that you can fail to. So you're getting just weapons. Eventually, you will be getting it. Now, the arsenal tickets at the moment come from headhunting, which is pulling, from the protocol pass, and then from credit store and bundles, which we don't have access to on global. but this is like paid stuff. Now, in the beta 1, not this beta, in the beta 1, we had a roguelike version, a roguelike endgame. They gave you weekly Arsenal tickets. So maybe they will think about that and re-implement it on the released version. But for now, we don't have access to. So in the beta 2, there weren't really many ways to actually get many Arsenal tickets outside from pooling. So if there is a chance where you don't need the character, you're not going to pool, you're going to have no Arsenal exchange. So that is a little bit of a question mark, Arsenal tickets. So that is a little bit of a question mark on where is the income for the Arsenal ticket if you don't pool. Can't I not get any weapon if I don't want to pull on the current banner? Let's say I want to wait for the next one. I don't need Levitain, right? In that case, you know, hopefully they're going to do something about it in the release date, in the release version. Now, moving on to the region level. Now, the region level is from the map here. When you go to your map and you press Y for the region stuff, you can see the regional level. This is very important because it increases the amount of regional transfer that you can do and the amount of regional build stock that you can do. And by leveling up, you increase these many of these caps more and more and more and more. Now, this is important because now it gives you a higher stack and you can stack more and you can get more and everything scales with your max, and at the same time you get also bigger regional transfer. It is really important, and it gives you free pools and free materials. Now, how do you increase this? By doing all of these abilities, by rigging mining spots for the first time, by connecting outpost and prosperity in general, putting like zip lines everywhere and like moving around freely and better, connecting facilities together, recycling station unlocking and upgrades that I showed you before, depot node unlocking and upgrades, stock redistribution, connection and coverage expansion, missions, and just doing the main story and just expanding in general, making your base bigger, stuff like that. So eventually you will be rushing through the levels early on if you're actually playing properly and you're remembering all of these bullet points and getting to the max level, which is 12 on both regions. I don't know actually if Wuling has a 12 max, but we can check really quick. It has 6 max for now, so maybe in the release is gonna have more. So the regional distribution, that's what it is, the regional level. Now the exploration level is this other thing over here, which is when you press ESC. The exploration level is basically the level of the world. Every character starts dropping better, but they're higher level, they're higher and higher and higher, and a certain threshold you are able to raise it. Now, I didn't raise it, I put it back down because you can put back down whatever number you want actually, every 24 hours. The operator level cap increases, the area enemy level increases, the availability limit and daily regrowth of those rare materials that I showed you before also increases, and certain threats are higher, so keep that in mind. That is that. Now, the world bosses are on F8. While you are playing the game, eventually you will encounter world bosses, which are the Recrisis and the Energy Alluvium. Now, these are bosses that are standby, and you can just view where they are. You go fight them and you drop whatever they tell you. In this case, they drop etching spheres. And if you go back, this guy, you go kill this guy, he's gonna drop his own type of etching sphere. And you want to do them occasionally, or as much as you want, if you're interested in that, and spam them as much as you want to farm the flawless essences. And just get rewards, right? They're all in the world. The moment you unlock them, you can just view them and go do them all the time. And then you have the Recrisis, which these are bosses from the story that you can redo. And you can do as you can see, you can do different levels. And you can do the deep dive mode, which is the max level of this guy. And it's going to give you more materials and specialized materials for leveling up your high level characters. So yeah, you do these, and then you can do the protocol space advanced progression in deep dive and do all of these materials in deep dive if you need a specific ones. In this case, I did this one because I need you need so many of Triphasic Nanoflake that is not even funny to level up to past 80. And yeah, this is also part of the end game stuff that you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing the Recrisis when you want, the Crisis Drills, the Energy Alluvium to farm, and then you're going to do the permanent here, the Edge Space Salvage, which is going to have its own video, but it's basically briefly a extraction game, mini game. When you go in, you try to get as many materials as possible. You have some mission to point you in certain directions. You've tried to finish the level, kill the mobs without getting corrupted too much. Otherwise, you get forcefully extracted and you fail the mission, but you still get to keep some materials and you can just go back in. So, and it's permanent content for now, at least in the beta, and it gives you good materials. Not the pulls all the time. Sometimes you get a pull, sometimes you don't. Don't really focus too much on the pulls. And again, it doesn't give you any arsenal tickets. So maybe we're going to have a mode for that as well. So now, before we end, let's go ahead and check the menu here when you press ESC. Now, this is basically your map where you currently are. This is your stamina, which increases the max cap the higher your account level. The account level for now is caps at level 60. So I'm level 55 at the moment. So I'm assuming it might be 400 for the max level, for the max cap of stamina. You can use the stamina items to refresh your stamina, or use the Origeometry, which you get by just playing the game in general, exploring and getting more things up and leveled up, and all the content to translate 1 to 40 stamina. Now, it's up to you if you want to use it for stamina or if you want to use it for the gems and convert 1 into 75 to get enough currency to pull on your characters, or use it as a stamina. In my opinion, it's better to use as a stamina, but you do you, right? It's fine. Now, this is the operation manual, which is your dailies. This is your like index, or like where everything is. For quick access, you just go, click go, tells you how much stamina you get. You can just teleport there, boom. You know, very easy, very fast. You get the materials that you need, divided in different categories. The daily obviously tells you what to do, or you can decide to not do the daily. And tomorrow you're gonna have double the XP for the next 3 days. And otherwise you start losing progress. But for the next 3 days, you're covered. The node is obviously going to be a beginner guide that gives you some missions to do to get some rewards and some XP. It's really important to level up early on. So try to focus it a little bit before you miss too much, right? Because you might have enough to clear level 7, but you didn't do something on level 3, so you have the next 4 levels completely locked because you forgot to make one piece of gear, let's say, right? So pay attention to this, is really important. Then we have the training, which is just basically just training guide for basic stuff. If you are confused about some mechanic of the combat, you can just go here and do it. The simulation is basically stuff that you can do, and tutorials for the building for Wuling and for Valley 4. They give you also some gems and some blueprint reward. This is going to be expanded on the beginner building guide, which is going to be its own video. And then you have the permanent, which is the Edge Space Salvage. The access pass is your battle pass with the mission. You can buy it there. The regional development is also Y on the keyboard if you're playing on PC, and you can access your region information, the income report for the day, the outpost management, or you can access the stock redistribution for the elastic goods and staple goods, or you can do the deeper node to take on jobs that other people posted or that you posted that people did for you. For more credits, there's going to be its own video. And then you have your friend list. Obviously, you have your gear assembly that shows the gear to make. If you are inside the AIC core area, you could do it immediately. Otherwise, you need to go there. You need to access. You need to be close to your base to make gear. The team is going to be your deployed team. You can make multiple team composition and try them and deploy them. The database, which is the most important thing in the game, which gives you access to every important material and where they are and what they do and how to make them, if you can make them. The valuable stash just shows you all the weapons that you might have. The path of glory is just like showcase your achievements. And archive, it's like some lower stuff that still can give you some pulls, but some like gems, but it's not that big of a deal. The backpack is what you have on you, and it also shows you the main warehouse on the left, and you can just quick stash stuff that you don't want, and you just drag it like that, and then you go back. We have the missions, which is basically J on your keyboard, or just click the mission and do whatever you track whatever mission you want, and it also tells you how much you get from it. The Etch Essence is a system that makes you use the same item to etch the main stat. I don't have the same item at the moment, so you can use the coolant gel if you have it. Otherwise, you just have to wait to drop the same item to then merge them together and get a bigger strength boost to put on weapons and stuff, right? Really cool. The Baker is a messaging system that they use to give you extra quests and stuff like that, so it wouldn't worry too much. You can just access it by pressing H or click here. The map is basically the equivalent of pressing M or pressing the map button wherever you are. Game Tools is basically, it's not used too much at the moment because it's a beta, but in the game release, they probably can have a website with inside the Game Tools that tells you, oh, with these characters, more or less wants this item. They give you like generalized builds for characters, and they also show like some player-made builds, which could be cool. You can quickly access them from there. The operator on the left is basically the equivalent of pressing C on your keyboard or wherever the wherever you're playing. The operator just shows you the character. The events just shows you the current events, which in this case are not too many, but eventually they're gonna be a bunch that you can do. The headhunt is the equivalent of pulling for stuff. Acquisition center is where you have the weapon banner, and you have the quota exchange with different items that you can trade by pooling. Still by pooling. The credit store gives you some credits scaling with what your friends did with you. If they trade stuff with you, you get more credits, and you can use them. There is a reset for the excess, so remind yourself to use them before the timer runs out or you lose them, but you can get them for free. You can refresh the shop if you don't like it, etc., stuff like that. Very simple. This is your account. If you click it, it's going to tell you stuff about your account. It's really simple. It's nothing new. The IC plan shows you this, and the AIC report shows you how many materials you're making, and if you have anything in red, you need to pay attention to it, especially on the current data. Theoretical is whether it's basically in theory, if you were to turn on every facility, you would have a deficit of bug flour in this case, but I didn't. So in my case, I am having just enough. The yield needs to be higher than the cost. It's very simple. So you can check it here. So that's pretty much it. This is what it says when you could technically buy stuff, but the shop isn't available. I don't know where is it gonna be, but it's gonna be a place where you can click and access the shop. The mailbox, and then you have the settings. Obviously, for now, sadly, there's no 160, 120 plus FPS. So that is pretty much all there is to know about the game in like a generalized version. Some of these topics are going to have their own videos, so look forward to that. But that's it. If you have any other question, feel free to post a comment below, or you can use the timestamp in description to revisit one of the topics of the video. Or if you're still confused, you want to ask something specific that I didn't cover yet, or maybe the video of that is not out yet, you can come on twitch.tv/JKZN and ask me there. Okay, so for now, thank you for watching, and see you next time.